Hi, y'all. Happy day 2 of online learning. This is Miss Fogarty again. I hope that you are all doing well, and I enjoyed talking to a lot of you yesterday about the lesson. And so today, what we're going to work on is understanding that volume can be found in two ways. The first way is just like we've been working on, we can use cubes to pack a rectangular prism. So we can see how many cubes fit inside a rectangular prism. And today we're going to talk about how we can use a liquid to fill a rectangular prism to also see how much space that rectangular prism is taking up. So what we see here is this relationship between 1 centimeter cubed, which is like those cubes that we use at school, and 1 milliliter, which is a measurement that we use to measure liquids. And what we're going to learn about today is that if I have 1 cube of 1 centimeter cubed, and I filled this with water. This is just a little cube, and if I filled this cube with water, and then I poured that water into this graduated cylinder, it would show that it filled this graduated cylinder up 1 milliliter. If I took this little 1 centimeter cube and I filled it with water, and then I took it and I dumped it into my graduated cylinder, it would fill it up 1 more milliliters. So I would have 2 milliliters in here. If I filled this cube with water, it's 1 centimeters cubed, and I dumped it into my graduated cylinder, I would add 1 more milliliter to my graduated cylinder, so I would have a total of 3. If I did that, if I filled all 10 of these cubes, which all measure 1 centimeter cubed, and I put all 10 of those into this graduated cylinder, I would see that this water line is going to be filled to this 10 milliliters high. So 1 cube, if I filled it with water and I dumped it into a graduated cylinder, is going to fill up 1 milliliter. So we can use this relationship as we find the volume in our problems today. Let's try example number 1. It says a rectangular tank measures 30 centimeters by 20 centimeters by 40 centimeters. Just like yesterday, we know that this is representing the length by, it means our multiply, length by width by height. So, how many milliliters of water are in the tank when it is full? Here's our picture. We already know that our length, our width, and our height are labeled on our rectangular prism. So if we want to find the volume, we're going to say, okay, well, I know that volume is length times width times height, and let's fill it in. Length is 30 centimeters. Our width is 20 centimeters, and our height, how tall it is 40 centimeters. I can multiply by factors of 10 by saying 3 times 2 is 6, and then I have 2 factors of 10. That would give me centimeters squared because I multiplied centimeters times centimeters, and I still have this 40 centimeters. I can multiply by factors of 10 again, so 6 times 4 is 24, and then I have 10 times 10 times 10. So I can add those on the end. I have centimeters squared times centimeters, so I have centimeters cubed because I'm finding volume. This wants my answer in milliliters. So instead of having centimeters cubed, I remember from my relationship up here that if I have centimeters cubed and I fill those with water, that's the same as having milliliters. So if I have my answer in centimeters cubed, I can write 24,000 milliliters. Those are going to be equivalent amounts of volume. So when this tank is full of water, it's going to hold 24,000 milliliters of water. Let's go to example 2. It says a small fish tank is filled to the top with water. If the tank measures 15 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters, what is the volume of the water in the tank? Express your answers in milliliters. Volume equals length times width times height. We fill in our length, our width, and our height. Do this now and check your answers when you are done. Once you're unpausing your video, check your answers with my work here. I filled in the length, the width, and the height. When I multiplied by factors of 10, I got centimeters cubed, and I remember that centimeters cubed is the same as milliliters, so this tank is going to hold 1,500 milliliters. Let's read part 2. It says after a week, water evaporates, so water leaves the tank. So the water is only 9 centimeters high now. What's the volume of water in the tank? So I can see that the water isn't all the way to the top. It's just a little bit lower than the top. It's telling me that the height now is 9 centimeters. Well, the length of the box didn't change, nor did the width. So I know my length is still 15 centimeters and my width is still 10 centimeters. Volume equals length times width times height. Notice how I always write this down so that I always have something to go off of when I solve these problems. Solve this one again on your own and pause your video and then check your answer with mine when you're done. Now that you have done the problem on your own, let's check your work. I've filled in the length, the width, and the height. Now that it's not all the way full, it's just 9 centimeters tall now, not 10. I multiplied through, I had to pull over to the side, and I got 1,350 centimeters cubed. I remember that centimeters cubed is the same as milliliters, so I can say that there are 1,050 milliliters of water in this